Hello, my precious Kim. I want to talk more about how to hydrate. Hydration definitely is key for longevity. So in the morning, definitely this is my favorite yerba mate. This is like more hydrating than water for sure. They add citric acid, organic honey. Those are very hydrating ingredients. It's going to lower the pH. They figured out that for hydration, you actually want a lower pH. You want the beverage to be more acidic. The more acidic, the more hydrating, generally. There could be a certain threshold where it's like too acidic and it will like burn your stomach, and you don't want that. So this formulation seems to be very hydrating on my body, like a natural Gatorade, and you're getting all the benefits of the mint tea, and even add more caffeine to it. I love the effect on my brain. This is amazing. Mint itself is good for the brain, but yerba mate has all kinds of health benefits for your brain. So this is definitely the favorite for a hydrating beverage. Probably more hydrating than even coconut water. Coconut water is amazing too, though, for hydration, and especially raw coconut water. So what else? This is hydrating. You could drink even some of this for breakfast, but I like, to hydrate your body, but I like this more with meals. But kombucha is also just hydrating because it's also a lower pH, because the bacteria are fermenting and they're creating acids of all different types of acids, and those acids end up being very lowering the pH, making the beverage more hydrating. I mentioned in the other hydration video, I mentioned melons being an option for hydrating, a fruit that's hydrating, but there's fruits that are more hydrating than melons, in my opinion, and those are the fruits with more citric acid, naturally occurring citric acid, like even fresh orange citrus in general across the board is going to be hydrating in the morning, because it's that citric acid, that lower pH than a melon. Melons are not very acidic. They're more neutral. But they do hydrate. I like watermelon. Watermelon could be maybe one of the best hydrating melons. But there are other fruits that I'm intuitively thinking are even more hydrating, and those are the citrus and the stone fruits, like peaches, nectarines, plums. I used to just eat meals of peaches when I would go to the farmer's market and just buy just buy tons of peaches and make meals of them. Kiwis are very hydrating because that citric acid in the kiwis. Kiwis are a berry, I think, and one of the biggest berries, and very, very, very hydrating, very juicy. And so, yeah, just eat kiwis, eat berries. Berries across the board are going to be more acidic, and that citric acid in the berries really does help hydration. Kiwis are extremely high in citric acid, which makes them one of the better options for hydrating fruits. But I'll use whatever fruit I have around in the morning. What else to say? If you can make fresh squeezed orange juice, that's one of the best options for hydration in the mornings. But lemonades, limeades, I love making lemonade with raw honey. That's so hydrating. That's so freaking hydrating, because the honey itself is a very hydrating ingredient because it's got the hydrogen in it. I have David Wolf to thank for teaching me that. David Wolf, he taught me that honey is like a hydrogen concentrate, making it like one of the most hydrating foods you can eat. A lot of times, if I'm just on the go and I want something really convenient that's hydrating, I'll just bring honey with me and just drink some water, and then I'll just do a spoonful of honey at the same time, and it'll mix around in your stomach and it'll just make the water so much more hydrating, just eating it with some honey. And I don't even have to add citric acid or any lemon or anything like that. Just the honey itself is so hydrating. It's like, I consider honey, raw honey especially, to be one of the best, most powerful, healthy ingredients just for its hydrating effect. So you don't need to be afraid of sugar. People are afraid of sugar, and there's this sugar scare out there, but from my experience, if you eat a very healthy diet and your organs are nourished properly, you should be able to process and tolerate the naturally occurring sugars in honey. And even fat is a very hydrating food, like butter. If you get raw butter, it's one of the best foods for hydration. The body wants the cells to be lubricated and coated with healthy fats, and butter is one of the best. Sometimes I'll just eat butter and honey together, and that's an amazing combination, which the Bible even talks about. Butter and honey ye shall eat to know good from evil. Whenever I'm confused about anything, I'll just go to the butter and honey as a go-to for general health, well-being, and it makes me think like I'm on the right track. When I'm eating butter and honey, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to be on the right track. I'm going to be aligned with moral perfection, you know. I think those foods just clear the fog away. Butter and honey, and yeah, it's hard to find raw butter. But even grass-fed butter that's been pasteurized is better than no butter at all. So most of the time I'm eating pasteurized butter just because it's hard to find raw butter at the store. But if you can find raw butter, or you can get it delivered to your house from like an Amish farm, that's going to be incredible. What else to say? Let me talk in tongues and see if I get any inspiration. You know what I think about tongues? Tongues is helping our brains unclog and deliver more information to our brains, because we're speaking all those weird syllables. Those sounds like gibberish, but it's causing us to remember things, because when you say something in tongues, it sounds like a real word to your brain. Like if I say, like something in that string of syllables is sounding similar to a real word, and then our brain pulls more thoughts from our memory and our subconscious. So whenever I'm confused or I'm feeling stuck in life, I'm always just praying in tongues and eating the most medicinal, healthiest foods that I can think of. Butter, honey, and other foods that are mentioned in the Bible, like mustard, raw milk. If you can get raw milk, I think that is top of the line healthy, because it's literally a natural vaccine. It's got all those antibodies from the cows. They're getting exposed to different germs and bacteria, and the antibodies end up coming out into the raw milk. And there was, in history, the legends and lores, that it was the milkmaids drinking the raw milk from the cows that didn't get sick. They survived the bubonic plague because of the raw milk that they were eating. And I'm a believer in that. I'm always looking for natural vaccines and natural things like that. That's why I drink urine. Urine is a good thing. I know it sounds weird, but drinking your own fresh urine in the morning is a natural vaccine, and it's a very intelligent type of medicine. Very, 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 very critical, in my opinion, to live forever. is drinking some urine. You can start off small, just a few drops onto your tongue if you want, just to get that homeopathic effect at least from the urine, and then work your way up to mouthfuls, and then throughout the day sipping on it. And then sometimes your body might tell you to just drink a lot of it at once, like a whole quart or a pint, or just fill your stomach with your urine. And I think there's a time for that. So yeah, just keep listening to your body and being intuitive and praying in tongues, drinking urine, raw milk, raw honey, raw butter, and I think that'll dramatically get you on track health-wise. Your intuition could become stronger, and what to eat could become more clear to you. And yeah, in nature are the secrets. In nature, in our bodies, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within, and I do believe that's a good principle. We just go within, strengthen your intuition, and keep on listening to that inner voices. All right, Kim, love you so much, and we'll talk later. Bye.